getting some brand new phones in here, so we're going through some more pain. So I apologize if everything is not coming in crystal clear. If you've been trying to call the office, the phones are in and out. So I got my dear friend Joe Valini working on the phones for us. He said hopefully everything will be up and running today. So with that said, let's get going. Today what I want to do is kind of go over some things I've gone over a lot of other calls. I've got folks calling me and saying, Joe, we're seeing people, we're not getting in the doors. Joe, we're getting in the doors, we're not making sales. So what I want to do is kind of open your mind up to what is available to you, so when you're there visiting with somebody, you don't hit like what we call as a roadblock and don't know what to do, walk away and blame it on the lead. A lot of it has to do is that you hit the roadblock and you don't know how to uncover it, clean your eyes out, and move on. So let's go over just one thing. When it comes to the actual leads, when you go into somebody's house, and let's say you're actually door knocking somebody, and they sit and tell you, you know, Joe, I don't remember sending that card in, it wasn't me, all the excuses they're going to give you. There's something that I'm going to show you now that I've got on the back office that you can go copy, and it's all of the additional things that we offer, okay? It's a very simple page. You can flip it over. They're going to say, I didn't send the card in for final expense. Excuse me, I already got that paid for. What I want you to do is turn the card over. This is the lead here. Turn it over. Say, ma'am, turn it over. And it's going to have whole life insurance, term insurance, life insurance, cremation plan, mortgage protection, accidental coverage, child, Medicare, Medicare Advantage, dental, vision, review your current policy. So you're going to bring this paper out to help them try to remember why they sent the card in. Or more, if they don't remember sending the card in, hopefully something you have written down will catch their attention on something that they do need. When they say they don't remember, that doesn't mean lead. That doesn't mean the lead is terrible. It means you've got to help refresh their memory. You got to understand, when you're knocking at somebody's door, they have no idea you're coming. You're a stranger. You're what you call an uninvited guest. Caught them off guard. We're not waiting for somebody to come. So you need to stand back and take your time when you go into somebody's house. Now, I'm going to flip through these papers here and see which one I'm going to do in the right order. Okay. Everybody wants to make more money, and a lot more agents are starting to take advantage of these programs. The main ones that we have now is Sagicor. They got a 15-point bonus. Whatever commission you're making, you're going to make 15% more from now till the end of the year. They're having it on their Index Universal Life and on their No Lapse Universal Life. Whatever commission you make, you're going to make 15 points more on top of that there. Number two, Americo has it to where you can make 5% or 10% extra on the Medicare supplements. Jay has all that stuff on back office under the bonuses you're going to get. They've got the You First, where you're going to make 8% bonus on anything you sell when it comes to life insurance. You hit the threshold of $35,000, saw a retroactive back on issue business, they're going to give you an 8-point bonus on that there, and that's good. It goes in 6 months increments. It just started now June 1st, and it'll last for 6 months. You do $35,000 of annualized premiums of their life insurance, except for their lifetime legacy, you're going to make 8% bonus. Very simple. You do $50,000 of annualized premium issued and paid, they're going to send you a check for $4,000 on top of what you already made. Now, what happens a lot of times is that we get ourselves in what we call a tunnel vision. We only know how to look at certain things, and we're kind of afraid to get outside that box and get out that comfort zone. And what ends up happening, we end up hurting ourselves instead of becoming more mature and wanting to learn when we're in the business. So you got to remember that old ways won't open up new doors, okay? And every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. So when you open up your vision, you go from the mono vision to the broader vision, broad, all the way around. What you're going to be able to do, you're going to see more things. You're going to be able to feel more of what the people are trying to get across from you. Because what happens if your mind is set on just doing final expense, nothing's wrong with that there. But yet when they say no, 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 you need to veer off. Where do I go to? Do I go here or do I go there? So I'm going to recommend you, when you go into your home, you're going to tell them you sent this card in primarily for final expense. Yet most people also send this card in for Medicare, Medicare Advantage, information on accidental life insurance, or they want something for their children. Children can mean children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. So it's going to give you a broad avenue to where you can expand to. Because if you go in, I'm here to speak to you about final expense, they don't need it, they don't want it. Now you say, oh, by the way, I can also talk to you about this here. So if you lay the groundwork up front of what you're there for, giving them at least 3 or 4 different topics of why you're there, when one doesn't work, you can pivot to the next one. That doesn't work, you can pivot to the next one. Then finally, you can sit and say, were you happy with the information I gave you? Yes, I was. I really appreciate it, but yet I don't need it. Well, I understand. Do you have a friend of yours that I can give the information to? So now you go into the actual referrals. Now, this is something I said. I've already got 2 agents calling me. They said, Joe's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not on the road as much as what I used to be. It's called Get Upside. Get Upside. It is a program you can get to where you can find gas stations that are around your area, gas up, and you're going to get money back. It's an app you got to download on your phone. My daughter uses it. She's in sales. She said, Dad, I make a lot of money every single month because I just maybe travel 6 blocks out of my way or 2 blocks out of my way to get gas. I got to gas up anyway, yet I'm getting money back. Look into it. Jay made up a sheet. So on the back office, 3 sheets, 1 for final expense, 1 for Medicare, and 1 for term and ULs. So let you know what company does strictly a point of sale interview, which one does an e-app with an instant approval, which one does a paper application, yet you need to do a PHI, which is a phone history interview. All this stuff is written down for you. Who takes MasterCard Direct Express, who does direct billing, who does debit cards, who has standalone accidental programs. It's all listed for you, nice and pretty. Please look at it. He's got one on Medicare, the Medicare Advantage carriers we have, Medicare Supplement, and ancillaries. Term life insurance and ULs, which ones do instant approvals. For example, you can go use the Royal Neighbors got a jet issue, whole life and term. Do it online, get approved. Americo's HMS, do it online, get approved. Sagicor, do it online, get approved. Nice thing about it is that when you're in the home, you're going through the process, you're going to know exactly right then and there if your client is approved for that particular product at that particular time. When it's approved, you congratulate them, you high-five them, and your job is done. Say, is this something that was easy and simple for you? Fantastic. Do you have any friends or neighbors that I can go over it with them to get a referral? Me personally, if I was on the road every single day and I'm traveling an hour, hour and a half away from my house, I know for a fact I'm going to want to do either an e-app with instant approval, or I'm going to want to do a point of sale with a carrier that's going to give me an instant decision right there. Because the mere fact is, the old days when I first started, you had to get a wet check and you had to do an application, wet app, submit it, hope and pray it gets issued. Today, we can do a paper app, we can do an e-app, get paid within 2 days. Back in the days, that wasn't the way it is. So the industry has changed a lot. It's making it more compatible for us when we want to buy leads. The nice thing about it is we got better cash flow. Money's actually going to our account a lot faster to where you can buy more leads on a regular basis. So go to the back office, got all the final expense, the term ULs, and the Medicare listed for you on exactly what does what. Another thing is the data walk-in list. Heather sent out an email blast and the phones have been ringing, okay? I told everybody I'm going to do it again today if you want to take advantage of it. I'll give you 100 names, addresses for free for you to try it, okay? The people that tried it a couple weeks ago have made sales. They've called back and they've actually purchased the list. They're incorporating it with their actual direct mail and their Facebook leads. So you give Heather a zip code that you're going to work in. She sends you the list in order by streets. From there you can walk, you can canvas, or you can flip through it to find out where you're around for a direct mail lead or a Facebook lead, to add it to the list. It also comes with a door knocking script, tells the people what you're doing, who you are, and all that stuff there. Now, net spend cards, we're running across a lot of those there. A lot of people are getting what they call a net spend card. And on the card, the clients don't know what all their information is. Their card is hooked up to their personal cell phone. So what you can do as an agent, you can go in there and you can tell them how to find out their information. You're going to text a 5-digit number, type in the word direct, hit send. It's going to auto-populate back the name of their bank. Name of their bank. It's going to have their routing number, their account number, to where you can put it on the paperwork you're going to need. It's in the back office. Please go look at it and get that information. So when you're in the home, print it out, take a picture of it, do whatever you want to do with it. Okay. Everybody knows that we have a bunch of different carriers. One more thing. Yellow delivery notices. You're going to be like a FedEx guy or a UPS guy, leaves you a little delivery notice on the door. You can go to our website, you can buy them. We sell 250 of them for $15. We have in English and we got in Spanish. They're both the same price. There's no upcharge for the Spanish. Go get those there. When you go to somebody's house, they don't answer the door. You've been there one time or two times. You're tired of going back. Leave a little yellow delivery notice on there. Get their lead, fold it up, put it in the top of your sun visor. When they call, say I'm on the phone with someone. Don't say a client. I'm on the phone with a friend of mine. May I please get right back with you? And then go directly to their house. Hopefully it's still within the working day. Hopefully it's within where you're around. If not, you got to kind of give them a hint. That sometimes messes things up. But just say there's a package you need to deliver to them. Be somewhat vague. I like to give out company brochures. You can get, every company gives you a brochure. I'd put a company card on it. If you need company cards, I'd get one that has your picture on it. On the back of the card says what you do. Final expense, Medicare, Medicare Advantage, annuities, supplements, whatever you specialize in, write it down so people know what you do. Attach that to the actual the carrier brochure and just do what you got to do. Okay. If you guys need a badge, we got a brand new badge made up. I think they cost $5 each. Get with Jay. We'll send you a brand new one. Have a professional picture. Okay. Carriers. Everybody knows we got a bunch of carriers. We got guaranteed issue from ages 40 all the way up to age 85. We've got another carrier we brought on that is ages 18 all the way up. It goes in age brackets. Okay. I'm going to recommend you to get this company here. The commission is nothing fantastic, but yet you're going to be able to get somebody who's underage. So you figure right now, somebody that's under the age of 40, for us, we don't have anybody that gives you a guaranteed issue. This company has filled that void. Commission, as I said, is not a lot, but yet you're able to help everybody out, and hopefully that will earn you to get a regular whole life policy or maybe a mortgage protection policy. They got kidney dialysis. They're confined to a wheelchair. They're paralyzed. They're bedridden. They've done a nitro pill less than 1 year. They had an organ transplant, primarily for these younger folks. They're mentally challenged. They may have some early stages of mental loss. You can do all this stuff here. It's a guaranteed issue, and you're going to make some money. Okay, let's go over one more thing here. This good card, this good RX card, 2 agents already done it. They think it's the best thing since sliced bread. Do this card here. Get it. It costs you nothing. Give it out. People will use it. If they fall in the donut hole, something that they can use. Okay? It's going to help everybody out. Get it. It costs you nothing. You can give it to somebody. I've got a package to deliver to you. You can do this card. This is the card they send me. Okay? When your client signs up for it, they're going to get a card like this here. Give this card out, show them what it's all about, give them an actual final expense wish book, shows all the stuff they need to write down when they pass away, and a brochure. That's the package that they requested, you're delivering it to them. Okay, let's talk about ways to do things to stay in business for a long time. When you're talking to a client, Do not give them the option of picking out a draft date. When you give a client the option of picking out a draft date, they're going to pick out the 4th or the 5th. They're going to pick out whatever day they want. For the mere fact is they don't realize that if their check doesn't clear, you get a chargeback. So the way I like to tell people is the way our program works is that if you get your check in on the 3rd, you get your check in on the 3rd? Yes, I do. Fantastic. Our companies are designed and set up to where your money will go in on the 3rd, and the bank will send in the amount that you choose later on the 3rd. So the computer knows your money's coming in. The computer will send your money out on the 3rd or on the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Wednesday. When you give them an option, they're going to say, well, I want it on the 4th or the 5th to make sure, the money's there. Well, the only bad part about that is that 99% of the people we do business with, when the money comes in, they're usually at the bank that same day, taking all their money out. So you want to make sure that when they're taking their money out, you've already had your premium payment sent in to where you don't get a chargeback. Try not to be long-winded when you're with a client. Try to get to the point. Try to think before you talk. Give substance in what you're speaking about. Because we all tend to be long-winded, go into too much details. And what happens, people sometimes get overwhelmed. If you're doing a wet app, make sure you use a black pen, because by the time you scan it or fax it, sometimes it loses its clarity and they sometimes don't see it, and you got to refax some pages back in. I want you guys to understand what we do is an emotional financial decision. People are going to give you rebuttals. People are going to give you some type of pushback. You have to learn and you have to practice rebuttals, comebacks. You've got to practice them, practice them, practice them. Well, Joe, when's enough practice? There's never enough practice. Professional ball player, anybody that's a professional has a training coach. The best of the best have got training coaches because even though they're great, they're way better than us, they still got a coach. That's why they've made it to the high level. So since you don't have an actual hands-on coach that works with you every single day, you need to kind of coach yourself. That's why a lot of people like to get on these calls here, because they feel, Joe, you're a good coach, you're a good mentor, you're telling us, you're giving a direction that you should go into, telling us what to do. You need to start getting this stuff encompassed in your brain to where you're learning and you're practicing this stuff on a regular basis, because people are going to give you some excuse not to get in the door. You got to be prepared for it. Take a deep breath and come back with what you got to say. Are you keeping your premiums that you're showing people above $50? The higher your premiums, the higher annualized premiums, the higher commission you're going to make. Are you asking open-ended questions when you're speaking with people to where you have a conversation with them? If you're only asking them yes/no questions, they're going to feel they're not participating in this event of where they can buy some life insurance. So ask them open-ended questions to where they're speaking with you, to where when they're speaking with you, they feel they're participating in the conversation. Are you using voice inflection? Are you increasing your voice? Are you lowering your voice? Are you emphasizing certain words when you're speaking to them? When you speak to them, are you tapping them on the arm? Are you tapping them on the leg to get that little connection to where they can feel what you're saying is important? Because when you say something with voice inflection and you give somebody a tap, it's kind of like the double whammy. This must be important. Are you keeping some type of progress chart on your sun visor? How many doors you knock on, how many people you see, how many doors you get into, presentations you make, sales. You got to keep track of this stuff here, because that's going to be your temperature gauge on what you need help on. If you call me, you say, Joe, guys, it's been a bad day. I haven't been able to see nobody. Well, if you've not been able, there's nobody answering the door. Are people not letting you in the house? Are you getting in the house and you're not making a proper presentation? Are you making a presentation and they're not buying? Once you have that stuff done and written down, then I can kind of hone in on helping you either get in the house or I can help you make a better presentation. That's something you got to write down so where I can help you help yourself. When a client tells you no, all that no means is that they don't know, K-N-O-W, enough about what you've got to say to where they can make a logical decision and say, no, I don't want it because. Baseball player gets up to bat. He gets 7, he's at bat 10 times. He gets on base 3 times. He's a professional. But he struck out, walked, did something the other 7 times. He didn't do great. We got to think the same thing. So when a ball player gets up to bat, he's up to bat not thinking about the last time he struck out. So you can't think about the last time you went to somebody's house and they didn't buy. That ball player is looking and says, I want to hit a home run. I want to hit a line drive. I want to pull the ball down the first base line. His mind is actually set on what he wants to do. Now, when that bat comes around, if he doesn't make proper contact on it, he may ground out, he may pop up. Who knows? But when he's up to bat, he's got a plan of action every time he's up to bat, which is he has a rhythm. He's got a system. He's got muscle memory of exactly where to stand, how to hold his arms. You look at a doggone golfer. A golfer will sometimes take 1 or 2 swings before he goes to make the approach to hit the ball. There's got to be a system everybody has. So even when you're knocking on the door, you may want to do a little throat clearing. You may want to sit and fix your shirt. Whatever your style is, you have the same system and the same progress every time. Believe it or not, it's going to make your business a lot smoother. Okay? People are going to sit and tell you your price is too high. Now, you can do a couple things. You can say, no, it's not. Our price is the best around. Instead of you defending your price being too high, you need to find out from them why they made that statement to you. Example, Joe, these prices look kind of high. My response will probably be, well, who are you comparing my prices to? Don't talk. Let them give you an answer. Let them give you the reason why they made that statement instead of you trying to justify your prices. We've got competition out there who got way higher prices than ours, and they still make sales. People buy from you. They don't buy from a carrier, okay? Well, they do sometimes, but most people buy from, thank you, brother. Most people buy from you. They buy from the trust you have, the trust they get from you, the conversation you have with them, the eye contact you have with them, and the substance of stuff you need. Now, what we hope they have is the need and the money and the desire. So everything we do has a lot to do with timing. Okay. Somebody's already got life insurance. Joe, they already got life insurance. I don't know why they sent this card in. They just bought something a year ago. Why do they need more? Somebody sends a card in. There's some information that they want. That's why it's nice to have that piece of paper I showed you at the beginning that has a lot of different things. Every area is different of what it costs to bury somebody. So if somebody's got a $5,000 policy, no matter where you are, I don't know anywhere in the United States where you can bury somebody for $5,000 unless you put them in a shoebox. Okay? So you're going to sit and say, fantastic, I'm very happy you got a policy for $5,000. Most folks I deal with have nothing. Yet do you feel this $5,000 policy is enough to take care of all your final expenses? Again, it's one of those, I ask a question, I'm going to wait for an answer. They're going to tell you, well, I think it is. I think it should be. This is where it comes in handy for you to have a general price list from the local funeral homes around your area. If I were you, I'd go to 3 different funeral homes. You can drive by and ask them for it. It's federal law, they got to give it to you. Or you can go online and download it and show the people, so-and-so funeral home, this is what it's going to cost for a simple burial, a simple cremation. This is what it's going to cost. And when they see it costs more than $5,000, say, great, I'm glad I'm here. Probably the reason you sent this in. The longer you live, the more it costs to die. Why don't we go over seeing maybe what another little small policy will be and we can add to it. Okay? Try to add to it. If you can't replace it, if you can replace it, they're in good health, they got cash value, do it if you can. If not, just replace it. To me, part of the pie is better than no pie at all. The nice part about it is you don't have to sell them on the reasons why they should have it because they already believe in it. You just need to go over with them that there's a little bit more of a need to where their family won't have to be left responsible with that other $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Always try to think positive when you're going up to a house. Don't judge the house by the way it looks. Don't prejudge it because what you'll end up doing, you'll end up talking yourself out of going up there, They give you one little rejection, you're going to say, doggone it, I knew that there. It's going to be one of those days. You're self-destructing yourself. Have faith in yourself, trust yourself, build that confidence level up, knowing everybody's not going to say yes, knowing everybody's not going to buy from you, even though I can't understand why they don't, because what I got is the greatest. But it's the way it is. Take your time, use the voice inflection as we spoke about. Okay, let's wrap it up with this here. Anybody who wants to get better at what they're doing, you need to learn more, you need to read more, you need to practice more. You got to have that openness in your mind. You have to be willing to want to be taught, and you got to be willing to want to be coached to try to do things differently. A lot of times we get set in our ways, and my way is the best way. I don't care what he says or she says, my way is the best way. You need to ask yourself, am I happy with the production I have? Am I happy with the amount of sales that I'm making? Am I happy with the premiums I'm putting up on the board? If you're not happy about those there, you need to speak with me or your manager to find out what they can do to help you. And what I'm going to ask you to do is kind of like clear that mind out and close all those programs up that you got in your mind and listen to somebody who's probably better than you, may not have been doing it as long as you, but what happens when you get a little bit too much in tune to what you're doing, sometimes you bring those kind of bad habits with you. Sometimes you bring those things that you shouldn't bring with you. Try to be open-minded. Try to look at things in a different way. Try to use words, different words when you're speaking with people. Try to do things a little bit different. Listen to what your manager says. Go to YouTube. There's a lot of things you guys can learn on YouTube of people that are out there doing the same thing we're doing. They're out there wanting to teach you how to do things because they want you to come work for them. Listen to the things that they say and incorporate that in what you do. When you go to a house this week, and let's say you go to a house this week, you make 3 sales. You go out next week, you make 4 sales. You go out next week, you make 3 sales. You go out the following week, you make no sales. That doesn't mean you change your entire presentation. That doesn't mean what you're doing is wrong. You need to kind of look yourself in the mirror and say, how's my attitude? Am I having problems at home? Am I going through a little bit of financial problems? Okay? Doesn't mean change everything. I like to tweak what I do on, let's say, a regular basis. It could be today I may tweak something. Could be 3 months later I tweak something else. Could be the week after that I may tweak 2 things. It just depends. Your mindset will take you either there or take you there. So you got to set your mind up of where you want to be. When you set your mind up that you want to be a winner, you want to be successful, and you're not going to let nobody get in your way, you're going to kind of like be a doggone pit bull in a doggone China store walking around like a little kitty cat. And that's the mentality you got to have. You got to think smart, be smart, and wish for the best. With that said, guys, I appreciate your hard work. You got any questions, give me a call. Hit them hard. Bye-bye.